Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the fifth installment of What's in Your Earbuds. I'm here with my friend and my co-host Joe Hardin. We have a great episode for you today, but before we get this thing started and I turn it over to Joe, I just want to take my time to thank everybody for the reception we've gotten on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. I was just kind of looking at the followers and the numbers, and ever since we launched this thing on June 25th, it's been amazing. For those of you guys who don't know what the EAPN is, we have 7 amazing shows on the EAPN. This Tuesday, you can catch Running Tales with Craig Lewis. He'll be talking to Dermesh Mystery for the seventh installment of Running Tales. And then on Wednesday, we got the fireside chats. Sorry, make that Tuesday. Tuesday, we got the fireside chats. We'll have some Fiery Embers, which are shorter shows that are 20, 25 minutes long, popping up with some people from the Run Tribe bike community. And every other Thursday, I think you got one coming up this Thursday. We have an episode of Beyond the Finish Line. Is it this Thursday?
The 13th. Sorry, I kind of had to work around that my next guest, so it's a Friday, which would be a little bit different. Jennifer Goins, who just completed Coconut 250 and has a
Ooh.
beautiful resume of some really epic ultra distance, and I cannot wait to chat with Jennifer.
I can't wait to check that episode out. And for those of you guys who need to find the dates, it'll all be on our platform. There'll be promos all over, and you'll also be able to find them on the podcast in the days following. So be sure to look up this show every other Monday and shows just like this on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. Joe, we put out last week a inquiry to our friends from the Run Tribe bike community about songs that have the word run in it. And I feel like this has been a long time coming, but you put out a reel last week and the reception just blew my mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely blew me away. Like I was trying to do my best to even catch up and keep up with the response, which is awesome. So yeah, super stellar reception and a lot of really killer tunes too. This playlist is just an absolute piece of artwork now. But yeah, I couldn't believe the reception we got from that cool neat challenge. So
Man, are there any songs in there? Are there any songs in there that really caught your eye? And we'll obviously go through the list, but are there any where you were like, man, this is one of my jams?
oh well, it was so not one of my jams, but now it's definitely going to be a new jam to me. And what's the handle? Hold on. My bad. So sorry. Run Eat
No.
Pasta. So that's Katie, right? She posted Running by Farside, and my goodness, that song is an absolute jam and a half. I think I listened to it like 6 times straight. It's so good. That one really stuck out to me. And one that really got me excited was my loving spouse, actually put "Run the World" by Beyonce on there. So I was really excited that
Ooh.
I've got another one of my family members on the playlist now. So that got me really fired up.
Yeah,
But yeah,
you and your family has great taste in songs. Like I've seen the added to the playlist and it's been amazing. You brought up Beyonce and I was looking at DJ Chippy sent like a million songs in.
yeah,
And
yeah,
one that caught
David.
my eye is Run This Town with Jay-Z feat Rihanna and Kanye West. Run This Town. That one caught my mind because we were talking about Beyonce, and you got to give a shout out to Jay Z when you're talking about Beyonce. But that's always been a banger for me. And I mean, I've seen like the Beatles and Foo Fighters, and there's been some amazing submissions. We're gonna have to go through this list. I can't remember. I think we both submitted a song too, but I think mine was "Run Boy Run" by Woodkid.
Oh yeah, yeah. Somebody else even suggested that song. Um, it might have been Josh Hobing who I met. No. Yeah, Josh Hobing from 10 Junk Miles from the Nation actually put that one on there too. So that's super rad that came up twice. Shout out to Josh.
Ooh.
I met him through 10 Junk Miles and that crew. So
Shout out to Ten Jung Miles. Uh, Here's another surprising one. It's it's Jason. It's surprising because Jason submitted a song that wasn't by the Pet Shop Boys. It was "Walk This Way" by Run DMC,
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
and it was the old flipperoo because it was like the artist's name is Run DMC, and it's the song is "Walk This Way." But I like the, and I
Oh,
also like the incorporation of "walk" into it too.
it's like that song is an ultra song. It's like run, walk. Okay, cool. Yeah, so my buddy Eric, who I'm running Prairie on Fire this weekend with, he submitted a George Strait song run. That's a classic too. Me and Eric met at Prairie on Fire. We ran ever since together. We're rerunning Prairie on Fire this weekend. Shout out to the MTC track crew too. Uh, my buddy Danny Pritchard put an Iron Maiden jam on there. I met Danny at the MoMA for 100K. We shared a lot of grueling late night hours together. That was cool that he chimed in. Ready to
Oh,
Run by the Chicks. Stefan, I met Stefan at Prairie on Fire last year. Another. I
wow.
keep I keep meeting these really rad people at backyards, and you share like a trauma bond with them, and you end up talking to them, every every so often after those things. So
Do you feel like that trauma bonding carries over to music bonding as well?
it absolutely must, and it's like showing up in this list every because I'll see someone that submits something. Oh, I know them from whatever. So yeah, absolutely 100%.
Man,
It
that is just it's just so cool, and I have to agree, when I was doing Bigfoot 200 and I was with one of my pacers, we blasted music the whole way down, and we were just, like, exchanging songs, and, I think I talked about it, but that spirit of, like, somebody else, like, joining in and singing along, just is just an amazing experience, and I was also looking at this list and I just noticed like there's Run Like Hell by Pink Floyd as well. Um, I see a Carly Rae Jepsen song. Nah, that's a name I have not heard in a long time, since maybe Call Me Maybe actually.
Yeah, let's see, we got Running Up That Hill, Zach Hawkins. I met Zach at Grind on the Grid. He just
Oh,
did
that's a
Shawnee.
classic.
Yeah, he just did Shawnee. Actually, he just commented on that. He just ran Shawnee Hills 100K. Absolutely crushed it. It's a really hard 100K apparently. So shout out to Zach Hawkins.
Awesome, awesome. We
Yeah,
got "And Run" by Cheryl Sanford. The song is called "And Run," I believe, and it's by Sir Sly. Shout out to Cheryl Sanford. She's a longtime Run Try Bike fan, and she submitted her story on our platform as well. I would highly encourage you guys to check out Cheryl Sanford's inspiring story. But she's just a beacon of light in the running community, and we love Cheryl. So shout out to Cheryl.
yeah. Shout out to Cheryl. Always has something like really good and inspiring to say, and also has great taste in music on top of all that. So shout out to Cheryl.
Shout out to Krista Drumright.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
is that a friend of yours too?
yeah. Army Chick 01, Krista. We do. Krista goes to Anytime Fitness. We do a lot of boot camps together. Really rad person. Probably the most well versed person I know in all things hiking in Central India, in the Midwest. Probably always has a good park to tell you about and a good trail to tell me about. So
Man,
yeah, good tune too. Yeah, it got me. That song got me pumped up. It like kind of
Dadu,
randomly came on yesterday while I was running. So
Dadu Ron Ron.
yeah, I didn't know who that song like what that song actually was, but I remember hearing those at like local 5Ks now, like as like a good little starting line song.
So I want to step away from running songs for a minute and talk about a song that came up from compassion activist Lisa Marie Fosdale Griffin, a good friend of mine. She brought up the song "Dance Monkey," uh, and we were talking about how Jason has to play that song the entire time he's doing his next race, and I got to do it too. But man, let's talk about "Dance Monkey." I listened to the two different versions of that song. I think there were like a couple different versions of Dance Monkey on the album. I'm pulling up Spotify right now, but that song gets stuck in your head. Even just talking about it, it's getting stuck in my head right now.
Yeah, it's. I didn't know where I heard that song before, and I just realized. So this maybe not something everybody. So my daughter has to have music for like getting ready in the morning for school and like showering, all that stuff. And I was just like, where have I heard this song before? It's like my daughter's like getting ready for school like playlist. That's like one of her go-tos. I was like, so yeah, it makes it extra special. Plus, that song is an absolute bop, is what I'll say.
That song is an no, seriously, that song is an absolute banger. It's on my ultra playlist now. Uh, I also gotta give you a shout out for Boys in the Hood, by Dynamite Hack, because that one is stuck in my head now too, and I've played that on quite a few runs. And then I have to give a shout out, harkening back to our last episode, to Adam Ture, because "Something's on Her Mind" by Clock Cleaner is on my playlist now.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's on mine too now. Like, yeah, but like he recommended a few things, and but that one was just really really good. Not that any of them were bad, but yeah, that song's definitely on my like playlist now.
He included couple songs on the episode that are like genres I would never listen to, but when I jumped into it, I was like, "Oh my god, like this is like an entirely new gateway for music."
Oh yeah, and that's what this is all about. Like I love that some of the stuff. There's no way I would ever listen to some of these songs. And now that they've been put in front of me, like it makes me take like these little like side trips down genres that I would never like. Not that I wouldn't listen to them, I just wouldn't even know about them, or I wouldn't have come across them like organically. So it's just so rad to like have this kind of like an open playlist for. I mean, we got some like really good. I mean, we got quite a few people that have shared on it this week too. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm stoked. Yeah, some of these
So
songs.
so before we dive into what episode 6, our special episode 6, is going to be all about, I want to talk about, you have an upcoming race that, we just talked about several times when we were talking about run songs, and it's a race that you did last year as well. So talk about that upcoming race a bit and tell the audience what's going to be in your earbuds for that one.
Um, So Prairie on Fire was my first ultra distance, and so it's like this whole full circle thing for me. It's where I met Cameron Balzer, which I'm sure most people have heard about Cameron Balzer. He ran the perimeter of the country, set to run the world record of mileage for the year. I got a chance to write a really cool article about him, part one of the article, anyways. So in my earbuds, I'll probably be talking a lot. I'll be playing a lot of catch up because Prairie on Fire is like the coolest run club vibe ever. But when things get dark, I'm gonna have to give credit where credit is due with what's been in my earbuds. It probably will be in my earbuds. Is ever since I met Elliot Matson, I've been listening to. He wrote and directed and produced his own audiobook, composed all the music, called Henry Hansen Lived and Died. And it is an absolute epic journey. Like he sent me the audiobook and I have not been able to stop. So that might be my earbuds a little bit off and on because it is so like I'm just captured by he wrote, I think he wrote 7 books so far. I don't know if he did audiobooks for all of them. He narrates them. So I got to give a shout to Elliot, owner of Folklore Apparel. He's been really, really cool to get to know since that podcast. And so that'll probably be my earbuds for a little bit. But, and then this like growing playlist. If anybody wants to throw any songs at me to listen to while at Prairie on Fire, just keep popping the stuff in the playlist and I'll give anything a listen. So
Yeah, that guy is insanely talented. Like he from the day like I told his story to him being on Beyond the Finish Line, it's amazing how many hats he's worn in his life, including writing 6 books. And I was just completely in awe when I was listening to the conversation between you two. And just spoiler, like at some point we are going to have Elliot Matson on this show because he is a musician, and I'm excited to get his take on music and what's in his earbuds. So we can't wait to have Elliot on the show down the line. So I want to tell you really quick about what's been in my earbuds recently. So I've kind of been ramping back up to start putting in some heavy road miles. I've been less on the trail, more on hard surfaces training for the Moab. So a lot of the stuff I've been listening to is switching over to like my shuffling music. So it's like I've got like Imagine Dragons, like On Top of the World was a song that really hit me on my highest highs during the Bigfoot 200, and I haven't been able to get it off my list since then. Um, I've been listening to a lot more metal. I've put on some Biscuits, some Corn, Agent
Oh, nice.
Orange, a little bit of Slipknot. I've even and I've gotta have Affirmation song too by Snoop Dogg. I know it's like a change up, but um, my if you know me at this point, you know my playlist is all over the place. So, but that's kind of what's been in my earbuds, and I've just been listening to all the songs on our amazing playlist, which you all can contribute to as well. We'll put up the link every few days.
Yeah, I love this. Like, it's kind of cool because it almost takes the work out of having like a really good playlist. And I just realized that just now while we're talking, it's like kind of relieving to have this playlist now. Like, like if you're logging some really, really serious time on feet, just throwing throwing the EAPN playlist on kind of takes the guesswork out of it. If you just let the playlist happen, and that's kind of what I've been doing on some of my road runs lately, is just throwing on the playlist, playing it. I mean, not only just to do homework for this podcast, but just to kind of see like it's like kind of cool having your finger on the pulse on the awesome people that exist in the Run Try Bike and EAPN network. Like so, and you can tell our music is pretty rad, and it's all over the place, just kind of like our playlist is. So yeah, it's such a super rad thing that we're doing here, or that
Yeah,
you're doing.
there's such an extreme diversity of like songs in our playlist. I noticed like Benzie Box is one I'm gonna have to listen to. I saw a classic by the Black Eyed Peas in there. Like
Yeah.
that's one that was like the life of a lot of like parties in the late '90s and 2000s. But that's a good one. I've seen like Scorpions and Van Halen and Europe and um, it's just and like music themes. I saw your inclusion of the Super Mario Brothers theme, and that was
that came because you had sent me that MC Fet, and so I was
oh
like,
yeah,
yeah, like you sent me that song, and I hit play, and I just like kind of let it go, and like all these like really cool soundtracks came up, and then I think that was around the time that Conrad Lyman had sent me like the DuckTales and like the
yeah.
Mission Impossible. So I think my Spotify playlist was just like, well, I guess we're listening to soundtracks now. So like, so yeah, I got a lot of good soundtrack stuff out of that little deep dive that we did for that week.
I'm probably throwing off your algorithm all over the place by sending you stuff like the Mario level, like the level for that, like the song for that final level or something like that, and then sending you like that GIF of like the Ninja Turtles like getting it, you know? Like I gotta put that on like our stories or something because it seems to match every song, no matter what the song. I see it on like literally anything having to do with songs, and I see this other one with like Winnie the Pooh dancing with Ariel, and like just it cracks me up every single time because those boys are getting it.
Just getting it, like every single song. I watched it way longer than I care to admit too, because I was like,
It's so good.
yeah, that gift lives rent free in my mind and heart now.
This might just have to be the reel. I might post this reel and I might throw in the GIF in the back of the reel. Man.
Uh,
Well, before we put a bow on this episode, let's talk. I want to talk about the amazing show that we have coming up for you in 2 weeks with Jason Hanley from Wild Sense Goods and Kenneth Anderlitch, and we have a few other guests that we want to line up. But uh, Jason and I were talking a few weeks back about how there's almost an entire genre, or I shouldn't say genre, there's an almost an entire like heartbeat to music for people who are um, go in sobriety. Like there is sober music almost like, and I don't think that it fits in any one genre or anything like that. Like I feel, and I want your take on this, but I feel like there's like songs that I think are directly about sobriety, and then there's songs that might not be about sobriety or an addiction, but they still hit you the right way because they like tap into like a core moment or something like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had some songs that maybe weren't like necessarily about sobriety, like you just said, but like I'll listen to them now. It's like, and they really helped me like in really tough and dark times. But now I can look now when I listen to them, it kind of reminds me of like, oh wow, I actually overcame all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, to your point, like it helped me through a lot of stuff, and now it kind of reminds me of like what I went through. And I couldn't put a pin in one song because I've got like quite a few that helped me through stuff, or that kind of still remind me of the overcoming all. But yeah, absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, there are truly a couple songs. There might be one or two songs that have absolutely nothing to do with sobriety, but I heard them during like key moments of my struggles. And so they're like almost tied to almost like, almost like a song that you heard in childhood that's tied to a good memory or something like the DuckTales theme or something like that. Like it's just tied to like a core memory. So I'm excited to the format of that conversation is basically going to be a roundtable where we're all going to choose one or two songs that really tie into our own sobriety journeys and have a discussion about it. It's not going to be a short episode like this. It's going to be an hour long special. And for those of you who are inspired by it or going through your own sobriety journey, we highly encourage you to jump into the conversation. In fact, we're gonna put out a question. I'm actually gonna put out that request right now. If there's any music that I'm gonna broaden the horizon. If there's any music that has hit you not only on your sobriety journey, but on your journey to overcome something, music for overcoming, no matter what it is, we'd love to hear it. And we're gonna follow up on this question a few times, and we'd love to give you a shout as we're leading up to that show. But we're excited to have that conversation and excited to have Jason Hanley and Kenneth Anderlich on the show. Kenneth especially is going to run from Washington D.C. to San Antonio, and he's doing it to raise awareness for a great cause. And he has quite a journey of his own, and you'll see his story on our platform pretty soon. And we're excited to help him out however we can with that show, and also hopefully reach out to those of you who are going through similar journeys as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
absolutely.
think I think before we wrap up the show, is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Joe?
Oh no, I'm just super stoked for the next episode, and I'm just really really happy with where this. It's just an idea me and Omer are just kind of having fun with. It's just so cool to see where it's developing. I can't wait to continue on the path with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to wish everybody a great Labor Day weekend. Thank you for joining us for this show, and look out for the podcast version of this on Friday. Today is Labor Day, and this episode will be out on Friday. So thank you so much for joining us, and still trying to figure out how we're going to end these shows, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say stay whimsical and keep those earbuds going.
Yes, I like that.